Alright, I got a 98 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP. I've been getting a lot of noise coming from the supercharger at idle. Sounds like rocks rattling around. I've been reading that the coupler goes bad. So took the belt off the supercharger and you could just see I get way too much play out of the pulley. So that means that the coupler is definitely going bad. Changing out this coupler is a relatively easy process. First thing you want to do is take off both the belts, because you are going to need the alternator to come off in order to get all the bolts off the supercharger nose. And the second step is basically just draining the oil out of the supercharger. You got your Allen head wrench right here. Allen head bolt, excuse me. The easiest way I find to get the oil out of there, since there is no drain, is to take one of the old sprayers, cut the tip off, and throw it just as deep inside as you possibly can and squirt it out into a bottle. These things only hold about 6 ounces, so it's not going to take that long to do this part. Alright, once you got all 10 bolts out of the nose cone of the supercharger, the nose cone, the supercharger will come apart in 3 pieces. The nose cone is in front, you got the impeller plate and the supercharger body. The impeller plate itself can stay in place. All you need is a supercharger nose cone off of there. It takes a little bit of prying, but they'll come apart. These notches in here are perfect for getting something in between to pry. And it does stink, so be careful. Alright, so here's how it should look once the nose cone piece is off. This guy right here is your coupler. That's the piece that's going to be replaced. You can see the 3 holes that don't have rods in them right now are really worn out. They're a lot bigger than they should be, and that's the reason you get so much play. So that's the main piece we're replacing right there. So with the new ZZP coupler in place, we can already see that there's little to no play at all. It's got a nice snug fit in there, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Alright, once you got the nose cone back in place, you're going to want to tighten all 10 pounds to 15 pounds with a torque wrench. Just because it is an aluminum housing, you got to be careful. And of course, fill it up. It takes about 2.5 bottles of this stuff, the GM supercharger oil. Throw your filler plug back on, start her up, and make sure it doesn't have any play.